Now moving on to the third question. This third question says, prove that the following are irrationals. There are 3 sub-questions. It is very easy now, as we already done 2 questions and we started assuming that the given question numbers are rational numbers. Similarly, we start now here also. The first question is 1 by root 2. So we assume, let us assume that 1 by root 2 is rational. The moment you say it is rational, that should agree, should be equal to a by b. Here, a and b are co-primes, meaning that they have only one as common factor and no other factor should be common. And b should never be equal to 0. Now we simplify taking cross multiplication. A root 2 equals b. A is multiplied with root 2, that is here a root 2 equals b into 1 is b. Now root 2 will remain in the LHS and we take it to the a takes the denominator place here. Root 2 becomes b by a. We know that b by a is rational because b and a are integers. That is why they are rational. We also know that root 2 is irrational. Root 2 is irrational because 2 is prime number and the rooting is definitely is irrational. These two, they are proved. Therefore, root 2 can never be equal to b by a. Our assumption is wrong. So, we write down that. Our assumption is wrong, meaning that 1 by root 2 is not rational, it is irrational. That is our answer. Now the second sub-question in question 3 of exercise 1.3 is to prove 7 root 5 as irrational. How do we do that? It is very similar to the first question where we had assumed that that particular question number is rational number. Here also we start the same way. Let us assume 7 root 5 to be a rational number. If this is rational number, that should be equal to a by b, where a and b are co-primes. Very important. This is the only one point which will prove further that this number is irrational. A and b are co-prime. B should never be equal to 0. You know very well, if 0 divides a number, it is undefined. Now you cross multiply 7 root 5 b equals a, or root 5 is equal to a by 7b, whichever way. Ultimately, we need to see that the root of this number remains with the LHS, and the balance should come to the RHS. The whole RHS, that is a by 7b, is rational number. It is rational because a, b are integers, 7 is a number, integer, the whole thing is rational. We also know root 5 is irrational, which is proved. With this, we can find that the given number is irrational. How? Root 5 can never be equal to a by 7b because a rational number can never be equal to irrational number. This is one very good condition to disapprove this. If it is so, we went wrong in assuming that 7 by 5 is a rational number. We write down that our assumption is wrong. Therefore, we can say 7 by root 5 is irrational. This is our answer. Well, we go to third question 6 plus root 2. The question is, we have to prove that this is irrational. How to prove that? First step is, let us assume 6 plus root 2 is rational. That's the first step. We have to assume that. And if it is proved, then it is rational. If it is not proved, then automatically 6 plus root 2 becomes irrational. There is a way to answer. If it is rational, then this should take the form of A by B, where A and B are co-primes. What is co-prime? Co-prime means it should have only one common factor, that is 1, and B should not be equal to 0. Now let us simplify. Root 2 is equal to A by B, that is this, and take 6 to the RHS. Take the LCM, it becomes A minus 6B. Root 2 is equal to A minus 6B divided by B. We know that A minus 6B by B, the whole thing is rational because A and B are the integers and 6 as it is an integer. The whole thing is rational. Also, root 2, we know, we have already done it, root 2 is irrational. Now, these are the conditions that help us to prove that this number is irrational, because root 2 cannot be equal to A minus 6B by B, which is rational, and other one is irrational. Irrational cannot be equal to rational. Therefore, now we say our assumption is wrong. Therefore, 6 plus root 2 is irrational. This is our answer.